What is good, everybody? It's BBKDRAGOON. Welcome to Fortuna, the brand new free open world expansion for Warframe. Today in this very quick, very beginner focused video, I'm going to showcase a handful of things. How to get your Archwing launcher, the mandatory piece of gear you're going to want to move around or ballast the new open world space as quickly as possible. I'm then going to go through Fortuna, the actual hub space, go through each of the vendors and tell you which items you want to pick up from the very start to begin farming resources effectively. We're then going to talk about Garuda, one of the new frames in the Fortuna update, where you can get the blueprints for her and build this for yourself. Ballast, the new open world space, is a giant map, and yes, you can move around it on your Warframe. The second fastest thing that you'll want to do and pick up is your K-Drive, which is the new hoverboard, Tony Hawk, pro skater, really fun thing to do. And I'll show you guys the vendor for where you can get your K-Drive. However, there's a much faster way to move around ballast, and you're going to want to have it. I think it's absolutely mandatory for players to have this in their arsenal so you can complete bounties as quickly as possible. Archwing launcher. Your Archwing launcher allows you to use your Archwing in the open world space in both Plains of Eidolon and out here in Ballast. And the reason you want this is because a lot of the objectives for the bounties you're going to be doing out here are from point A to point B, and you're going to be needing this to travel as quickly as possible. So a few things. You're going to need to have the Archwing, which is a quest line you can complete within like the first 4 to 5 hours of Warframe. Then, from the Tenno Labs section of your clan dojo, you can pick up an Archwing launcher segment. You can also purchase this for platinum if you don't yet have a clan or if you don't have the resources to create this. Once the Archwing launcher segment has been installed, you then need to build an Archwing launcher. This is a piece of gear that is infinite use that allows you to summon your Archwing in both the Plains of Eidolon, last year's large open world space for Warframe, and in Ballast, the new open world space in Fortuna. The resources required are 7,500 credits, 50 erudite, 50 croc drool, and 30 fish oil. The erudite and the croc drool are resources that you will find scattered throughout the Plains of Eidolon. They tend to be near the Grenier campsites, and you don't have to go very far from the hub city of Cetus in order to find them. It shouldn't take you any more than 30 minutes of going through the plains, going to the different Grenier camps, looting their stashes, and of course when you see the vehicles, trying to open up the caches within the vehicles to accumulate both the 50 erudite and the 50 grotcool. The fish oil is also a really quick step, but you will need to do some fishing on the Plains of Eidolon. You're going to want to go to this vendor in Cetus, and you're going to purchase a fishing rod from her. Don't worry about picking up any sort of bait. If you have no syndicate rep in order to pick this up, just do one bounty within the Plains of Eidolon, and that should give you enough rep to pick up the fishing pole. You're of course needing to go back to your orbiter or your spaceship to equip the fishing pole on your gear wheel, but once you've done that, head back to the Plains of Eidolon, go up to any body of water, and fish will start to accumulate in the water. Look for them, cast your rod at it, pull them in, and getting 30 fish oil is fairly easy. So, maybe catch a dozen or so fish, head back to Cetus, go back to the fishing vendor, and then you can convert these into either reputation or into materials, and you want to convert them into materials. Once you have that, go back to your foundry and build the Archwing launcher. That's going to be the most complicated part of the whole video today. And trust me, it makes a huge difference when you can just literally summon it and see here's a point over on this bounty that's 500 meters away. It takes a lot longer on the K-Drive to get over there, whereas you can just, boost over real quick if you've got the Archwing launcher. So it might seem like a grind, but I'm telling you what, it's absolutely worthwhile if you plan on spending any amount of time in the Ballast. Next, I'm going to highlight a couple of the vendors here in the Fortuna play space. First up, we're going to visit the business. The business is the fishing vendor for Fortuna. If you go to Browse Wares, you can see that you can purchase bait and some other elements for the tranquilizing enemy animals, which is sort of like a new mini game within Fortuna. His fishing rod is right here, as well as the new Trank rifle. Both of these can be purchased with the syndicate reputation that you'll be earning throughout Fortuna. This is the main currency of Fortuna. You earn this by completing bounties out on Ballast. I recommend picking up a fishing pole as soon as possible and heading out and starting to fish. The servo fish will dismantle into resources that can be used over here at Rude Zood. These are the new modular sidearms. They're kit guns, essentially, and you get to build out your own modular sidearm how you see fit. You will, of course, need to buy the different pieces and parts, and you guessed it, they cost Syndicate Rep in order to purchase them. Right next door to the fishing vendor, we have Smokefinger. And Smokefinger sells minerals, but he also sells something very important that you're going to want to have picked up, and that is the Sunpoint Plasma Drill. This plasma drill will allow you to mine resource nodes out in Orb Valis and accumulate some of the new materials that you're going to be using throughout your time in Fortuna. Once you have 2,500, rep, you're going to want to pick this up. I'd say pick up the fishing pole first, though. This is Legs. I don't want to spoil anything because when you first get into Fortuna, there's an introductory 30-minute story quest that you're going to want to do. He is the MOA vendor. He essentially lets you build your own MOA companion and have that person go with you on missions. And it's pretty cool. Just like everything else, you're going to need to purchase the parts in order to create the MOA companion that you want. But you can make one with a top hat, so it's a win-win. So one of the main vendors that people are having a hard time finding are the K-Drive kids. Once you've completed the initial 30-minute story experience, you're going to want to probably build one of these hoverboards yourself. You can see out here, that's where Utica is. You're just going to jump up onto the second step, and there's a kid up on top of this vent. The vent has a face, and you're going to hit X to enter the clubhouse. And this is where the K-Drive kids are, and where you can build your K-Drive or your hoverboard for Fortuna. A lot of people are having a hard time finding these guys, so. Finally, let's talk about earning Garuda, one of the new frames in the Fortuna update. This is Utica. She is going to be your main bounty giver for this expansion for Fortuna. She allows you to level up your faction standing with the Solaris United, but she's also going to be your bounty giver. These bounties refresh every 2.5 hours. If you hover over them, you can see the rewards you'll get. Not only will you get Solaris United standing, reputation, there are other rewards associated with it. So some of these will deliver you blueprints for Garuda. First one gives the chassis blueprint for Garuda, the second, the systems, and the third, the neuroptics. When you complete the first 30-minute experience in Fortuna, it will give you the blueprint for Garuda. The resources of building Garuda are mainly minerals, and it's kind of a pain to go after, but that's how you end up getting the Garuda frame. Yes, there is the platinum purchasable version. They've got a bunch of new plat kits that you can purchase the new Warframe stuff. But for those of you wondering how to get it, awesome. You're going to want to be completing these bounties as much as possible, but I really do want to note something. Your mastery rank limits you daily. You have a daily limit on how much standing you can accumulate with syndicates. It is 1,000 times your mastery rank plus 1,000. So I am mastery rank 9. That means I can accumulate 10,000 standing per day. An MR25 account can accumulate 26,000 per day. That shouldn't stop you from continuing to complete bounties because there are other rewards and materials that are useful within Fortuna, but do be aware you can burn, if you're a low MR, you're going to burn through the amount of standing that you can earn quite quickly. And that's going to do it for a really early start and early look at Fortuna beginner tips. If there's anything I missed, please let us know about it down in the comments section below. Let me know what you're thinking about Fortuna. I'm loving it. I've been streaming it quite a bit. Thank you guys for hanging out in the streams. And this is looking like a really awesome expansion and a great time of the year for Warframe. Shameless self-promotion. If you're brand new and you want to learn more, I have a handful of beginner guide videos and tips and builds and all that stuff here on the channel. So subscribe. And if you enjoyed, please thumbs the video up. Have a great rest of your day. And I'll check in with you again next time.